Stop right there. Before you scroll past this video, I need you to answer one question honestly. If you treated your best friend the way you treat yourself in your own mind, would they still be your friend? Most of you just felt that punch in the gut. And that's exactly why you're here. I'm going to tell you something nobody else will say out loud. The reason you struggle to love yourself isn't because you're broken, damaged, or not good enough. It's because you've been taught a lie so deeply embedded in our culture that you don't even recognize it anymore. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to dismantle that lie completely. But more importantly, I'm going to show you the exact path to genuinely loving yourself. Not someday, not when you fix yourself, but right now, exactly as you are. This isn't about affirmations. This isn't about looking in a mirror and forcing yourself to smile. This is about something far more powerful, something ancient, something that actually works. So here's what we're doing today. There's a Zen story about a student who came to his master desperate for enlightenment. He said, "Master, I've tried everything. Meditation, fasting, studying sacred texts. Why can't I find peace?" The master picked up a cup of tea and began pouring. He kept pouring even as the cup overflowed, spilling tea all over the table. The student shouted, "Stop! Can't you see the cup is full?" The master smiled and said, "Exactly. How can I show you anything when you're already full of opinions about yourself?" Here's the brutal truth. You can't love yourself while you're holding on to the image of who you think you should be. Think about that for a second. Every time you say, "I'll love myself when I lose 20 pounds, or when I get that promotion, or when I fix this flaw," you're rejecting yourself right now. In this moment, the only moment that actually exists. The Zen masters understood something we've forgotten. Self-love isn't something you achieve. It's something you stop preventing. Right now, there's a war happening inside you. And you're on both sides. You're the attacker and the defender, the judge and the accused. And this war is exhausting you. Let me show you how deep this goes. I want you to do something with me right now. Think about the last time you looked in a mirror. Really looked. What was the first thought that popped into your head? Be honest. For most people, it's criticism. Instant, automatic, brutal criticism. Your mind immediately goes hunting for flaws like a detective searching for evidence. Now here's the shift. That voice in your head? That's not you. That's conditioning. That's every comment, every comparison, every magazine cover, every rejection you've ever absorbed. It's become background noise. But it's not your truth. The Zen approach asks you to do something radical. Notice the voice, but don't believe it. There's a practice called the Watcher. You simply observe your thoughts like clouds passing in the sky. When the criticism comes, you don't fight it. You don't argue with it. You simply notice, there's that thought again. This is revolutionary because you're no longer identified with the attack. You're the awareness behind it. And awareness is always peaceful, always whole, always enough. Try it right now. Notice whatever judgment just arose about yourself. Don't push it away. Just see it. Label it judgment. Then let it pass. Feel that. That little bit of space you just created. That's freedom. That's where self-love actually lives. Here's where this gets really interesting. And this is the part that's going to change everything for you. There was a Zen gardener who spent 40 years cultivating the most beautiful garden in Japan. People would travel for days just to see it. One day, a visitor asked him, "How did you create something so perfect?" The gardener laughed and said, "I didn't create anything. I just removed what didn't belong. The beauty was always there." Your self-love works the same way. You weren't born hating yourself. Watch a toddler sometime. They don't wake up thinking, I'm not good enough. They just exist. Fully. Completely. They cry when they're sad, laugh when they're happy, and never once question whether they deserve to take up space. Somewhere along the way, you learned to pile criticism on top of that natural self-acceptance. Layer after layer after layer. Until you forgot it was even there. The work isn't adding more love. It's removing what's blocking it. And here's the specific technique the Zen masters use. The practice of subtraction. Every day, instead of trying to add positive affirmations, you remove one layer of false belief. You question one should. You release one comparison. You let go of one old story. Let me give you a concrete example. Most people think, I should be further along in life by now. That's a weed in your garden. Pull it out by asking, says who? Based on what timeline? Who decided this arbitrary measure of success? When you really examine it, you'll find it has no roots. It's just something you picked up, and you can put it down. Do this every day and watch what happens. The real you starts emerging. Not the you that you're trying to become. The you that's been buried under expectations. Now let's talk about the biggest obstacle to self-love. And I guarantee you're doing this right now, even as you watch this video. Comparison. You're watching me, and some part of your mind is either putting me above you or below you. It's automatic. It's unconscious. And it's destroying your peace. The Zen teaching is simple but profound. In a field, the tall grass and the short grass both belong. You're not in competition with anyone. Not with the person who seems to have it all together. Not with the version of yourself from 5 years ago. Not even with the version you think you should be. Here's a practice that will immediately shift this. The like me meditation. When you see someone and feel that pang of comparison, immediately think, just like me, this person wants to be happy. Just like me, this person struggles. Just like me, this person is doing their best with what they know. This dissolves separation. And separation is where all self-hatred lives. When you stop seeing yourself as separate, as behind, as less than, you suddenly realize you're part of everything. The same life force that beats your heart grows the trees and spins the planets. How could that ever be not enough? But here's where people get stuck. Before we go deeper, I need to pause and ask you something. If this is landing for you, if you're feeling even a tiny shift right now, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell. Because what I'm sharing isn't theory. This is the path I've walked. These are the practices that pulled me out of decades of self-hatred. And I'm putting out videos like this every week to help you do the same. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Just click subscribe right now. Your future self will thank you. Okay, let's keep going. Because now we're getting to the most powerful part. Here's what nobody tells you about loving yourself. It doesn't mean you approve of everything you do. This is where people get confused. They think, if I accept myself as I am, I'll never change. I'll never grow. I'll just become lazy and complacent. Wrong. The Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh said, you can only change what you accept. What you resist persists. Think about a time you tried to hate yourself into changing. How'd that work? Did the self-criticism make you more motivated? More consistent? More confident? No. It made you exhausted. It made you hide. It made you give up. Now imagine a different approach. Imagine making a mistake and instead of attacking yourself, you pause. You put your hand on your heart and say, this is hard. I'm struggling. And that's okay. I'm learning. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's the kind of inner foundation that actually supports growth. Let me give you the exact practice. Self-compassion breaks. When you notice you're suffering, when you catch yourself in self-attack, stop, take 3 breaths, and say 3 things. 1. This is a moment of struggle. Just acknowledge it. No drama, just truth. 2. Struggle is part of being human. You're not uniquely broken. This is the shared human experience. 3. May I be kind to myself in this moment. Not I should be or I wish I could be. Just an invitation. A gentle possibility. Do this 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. And watch your entire relationship with yourself transform. Because here's what happens. You start to become the person you needed when you were younger. You become your own safe place. Your own encourager. Your own unconditional supporter. And from that foundation, you can do anything. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because you actually want to. Because you care about yourself enough to show up. Now we're going to go somewhere most self-love content won't take you. But we have to go here if you want the full transformation. There are parts of yourself you hate, parts you hide, parts you pretend don't exist. Maybe it's your anger, your jealousy, your laziness, your neediness. Whatever it is, you've shoved it down in the basement and locked the door. The Zen approach is completely different. You invite it to tea. There's a practice called feeding your demons. Instead of fighting the parts of yourself you dislike, you sit with them. You ask them questions. You listen. Here's how it works. Think of one trait you really dislike about yourself. Got it? Now imagine that trait as a person sitting across from you. What do they look like? How do they feel? Ask them. What do you need from me? And listen. Really listen. What you'll discover is shocking. That demon is usually a protector. Your anger might be protecting your boundaries. Your anxiety might be trying to keep you safe. Your perfectionism might be trying to ensure you're accepted. These parts aren't enemies. They're confused allies. They're strategies you developed to survive. And they need compassion, not condemnation. When you stop fighting yourself, when you bring everything into the light with love, something miraculous happens. You integrate. You become whole. You stop leaking energy in internal warfare. And that energy, that's what you use to actually live, to create, to love, to show up fully in your life. This is the secret the Zen masters knew. You can't love yourself by rejecting parts of yourself. You love yourself by including everything. All of it. The good, the bad, the messy, the beautiful. It's all you. And it's all welcome. All right, let's make this concrete. You can't just understand this intellectually. You have to practice it. Daily. Here's your 3-part Zen practice for loving yourself enough. Morning. The arrival before you check your phone, before you do anything, sit for 2 minutes. Just breathe. Say to yourself, I am here. I am alive. That is enough. Feel that. Don't perform it. Actually feel the truth of it. Midday. The check-in set an alarm for noon. When it goes off, stop whatever you're doing. Put your hand on your heart. Ask, what do I need right now? Not what you should need. What you actually need. Then give yourself that, even if it's just 30 seconds of stillness. Evening, the completion before bed, write down 3 things. 1 thing you did well today. 1 thing you struggled with. 1 thing you're grateful for about yourself. Not about what you accomplished. About who you are. These practices seem simple. Almost too simple. But that's the Zen way. It's not complicated. It's just consistent. Do this for 30 days. Don't skip. Don't negotiate. Just do it. And watch what happens. You'll start to notice the voice in your head getting quieter, the criticism losing its grip, the peace becoming more accessible. You'll start to realize something profound. You were always enough. You just forgot. And now you're remembering. Here's what your life looks like when you actually love yourself enough. You stop waiting for permission. You make choices based on what's true for you, not what looks good to others. You set boundaries without guilt. You say no when you mean no. You protect your energy like the precious resource it is. You celebrate other people's success without feeling diminished. Because you're not in competition. You're in collaboration with life. You forgive yourself faster. You make mistakes without making them mean something about your worth. You show up authentically. You stop performing. You stop pretending. You just exist as you are. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you love yourself enough, you actually become better. Not because you're forcing it, but because you're no longer spending all your energy fighting yourself. The Zen masters call this effortless effort. You're aligned. You're whole. And from that wholeness, everything flows naturally. This isn't a destination. It's not something you achieve and then you're done. It's a practice, a return, a remembering. Every single day, you choose. Do I attack myself today, or do I show up with compassion? Do I reject what is, or do I work with it? And the more you choose compassion, the more it becomes your default. Until one day, you realize, you're not trying to love yourself anymore. You just do. So here's where we end. You came to this video because some part of you knows you deserve better than the way you've been treating yourself. That part is right. You deserve your own kindness, your own patience, your own unconditional support. Not someday. Right now. Take what you've learned here and use it. Not just today, tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that. And if you want to go deeper, if you want more practices like this, subscribe to this channel right now. Join the thousands of people who are choosing to stop the internal war and start the journey home to themselves. Leave a comment below and tell me, what's one belief about yourself you're ready to release? I read every single one, and your courage might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Remember, the tall grass and the short grass both belong. And so do you. Exactly as you are. Right now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing yourself. I'll see you in the next video.